And a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you are, to today's edition of Unlocked SK, the original interactive talk show, broadcasting to you live from our micro streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny Greece. And should you, for whatever reason, experience an interruption to our transmitted broadcast today, please log on to our website at www.StudioKerkyra.com or the video platform that is Vimeo.com, or else good old YouTube and good old Twitter and Twitter's Periscope. And to bring this digital broadcast to you today across the internet, I'm very pleased to say we have the help and assistance of our wonderful producer, Claire Haas, who will be endeavouring to answer all your comments on Facebook Live Messenger and taking those elusive calls from Skype. And of course, no broadcast would be complete without the irredoubtable one and only Mr. Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas. How are you today?
Hello, Adrian. I'm fine. I hope you're okay. I'm just switching around and see all the pictures. Yeah, and welcome everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in again on another beautiful day here on the beautiful holiday island of Corfu. Today, maybe you spotted it, we are at St.George South. Fantastic. It says around 26 degrees.
23, but
23.
It's been a bit hotter than that. It's a fantastic day.
It feels a lot hotter, man.
It does, but I think it was 23. Maybe when the sun's come out, it's peeping through the clouds, but we've got full sun now, and it's such an idyllic spot here. As you can see, the fishing boats, you will get to see them. We're right in the harbour, right kind of in the middle of the long strip of St. George's South. We've done a few broadcasts here from now. As you probably gathered, it's one of our favourite locations. Unlike other broadcasts, though, this year it's a little bit quieter than normal.
Oh, it's totally a complete different picture here in St. George South. Last year, same time, we done a broadcast here from the burger place just opposite Cafessos 2. And, we had the walkthrough. We saw Claire eating a fantastic burger there.
And
we had a lot of fun. Yes. Also, the interview
with George Vlachos, the diving school. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, today, there aren't too many souls about. You'll be pleased to know there's a coffee shop that's opened up, Cozy Coffee. That's handy for us. And we had a lovely chat with Akis from Cafessos. More about that a bit later on.
Yeah, definitely. And let me say hello, everybody is watching again, is logged on. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Christopher Daban is watching, Melita is watching, Jane Petit is watching, great Lavinia saying, Kalispera Sas. Hi, Lavinia, Jane Nicholson, Frozen. No, you're not. He said then afterwards, no, we had a little bit of a problem.
Frozen? You must be joking, mate. It's bloody boiling. No, I know what you mean. We've had a few gremlins, yes. Poor Thomas, he had a nightmare just before we were due to go broadcast, something wrong with the signal. But
it's
we
the
are
location
working now,
a little bit, but it's great now. And, one thing I figured out now is all the cell phone towers where we feed our 4G network from our connection from. They are not running on full capacity because there's no tourists here.
No,
so all the tourist area here, it's funny. With the mobile phone reception in the winter, it's worse than the summer. But a technician explained to me and said, no, you know what, we're not pushing so much signal out in the winter when the tourists are not here. And we're feeling that now. So in real tourist spots, the 4G connection is half what it is normally. It's strange,
Well, that explains that then. So do bear with us, folks. We will continue to deliver this uninterrupted broadcast the best we can.
Yeah, so I just lowered the quality a little bit, but I hope you guys can see that all nicely and good. And what a beautiful place. I love that.
Isn't
you
it
see
beautiful?
The sailboats in there, or the fishing boats.
Yeah.
That's the harbor here is St. George South. Yeah. And on
yes.
the other side, you see the sand dunes. And
absolutely.
what dunes these are. It's incredible. I mean,
Isis,
that's ISIS,
yes,
exactly. Yeah.
Going on towards Halicunas, further on north up the coastline. St. George South is, if you like, a man-made holiday resort, but it is the seaside place of the local town. Lovely Alvaradas.
Yes. Oh, and Aguiradis is beautiful.
It is.
It's on the way down to Left Kimi. So
you can't miss it,
you
really,
can't miss
you?
it, really. No.
No.
But there's hello from Julie Cam. Hello from a very hot Edinburgh for a
good,
change. Is that?
Yes.
That's great.
Kalispera to all our lovely Greek friends and everybody else as well.
And Stuart Maroney said, hi guys, this virus that is going around was put in a book in 1981, written by Dean Canotes.
That's
I didn't know. That's interesting.
No, I didn't, but thank you very much for sharing that little nugget. Golden nugget, although I don't know about golden. Not quite the right word for COVID-19, is it?
No, there is another hello from Paul Bollock saying, nice to join you all after a hot day window cleaning. Don't work too much, mate. I mean, when it's hot and you have to do stuff like that.
Cleaning windows on a ladder in full sun is no joke. I used to do that a very long time ago, Paul, so I know what that one's like. Hope you get paid. Unfortunately, I wasn't so lucky.
No, but that's the life of an actor, isn't it? When you study, when you go through, you do the jobs next to it. I mean, when you done your studies, you drove taxis, didn't you?
I did. That's in fact 6 months driving taxis in Sefton Borough Council. 7 months, I think, was the best experience of life I'd ever had up to that point. I mean, God blimey, I think I was wet behind the ears. Some probably would say I still am. But no, 7 months taxi driving in Sefton Borough Council, going into Liverpool, which we love, actually. I keep going on about the Scousers. They've got the fantastic sense of humour, Thomas.
Do they?
Oh, good Lord, yes. I guarantee you wouldn't last 5 minutes in Scousland without them making you laugh.
That's great. See, that's what we like. That's what it is all about. Margaret Johnson is saying, hi, everybody, a bit hotter today, 28 degrees. Yeah, it really depends where you are.
You're lucky, Margaret. We're slumming it with a meagre 23. Enjoy your 28.
And here, Melita is saying, congratulations, Sir Tom.
Yes,
so much more deserved than all those celebrities. Yeah, I mean, that's a great story. It made me so happy just to see that.
It was indeed.
Incredible.
Yes.
What an incredible man, what he done.
Sir Tom now.
Sir Tom now.
Moore,
I mean, he's so, that's so worthy.
32 million and counting. Just for doing, well, for him, it was a really big feat, 100 laps around his garden with a walking frame. He's been made a knight by special recommendation and nomination, would you believe, by the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. So he's at least done one good thing, that's for sure. And Boris Johnson said that he had provided the country, quote, with a beacon of light through the fog of coronavirus. And that's about exactly right, Thomas. He certainly has shown us how to do it and how to behave. What an extraordinary gentleman. Sir Tom Moore, congratulations.
Sir Tom Moore, congratulations here from us whole here at SK, all our viewers, and I think the whole island of Corfu. So, guys, Steve Bauer said hi from a balmy Manchester.
Oh, good one, Steve. Well, I'm glad you're balmy in Manchester. That's absolutely great.
And Simon Berry saying, hi, guys. Yes, Anita Riesen Edward saying, hi, all. Patricia Webster, hi, all. Leon Jagger, hi there. Nikos Lubos is watching. Hi, Nikos. Jerry O.D. Nice location. Best wishes from Donegal.
Oh, thanks, Jerry.
Philip Ferris, hi folks, good to be with you again today. Philip, thank you so much for following us. It's great. Lorraine Smith is saying hi from sunny Pompey. Nikos Lubos comes just in and say, my love to all of you and to Akis and all my friends in St. George.
Akis, what a character he is, Nick. Oh, my word. We had a lovely chat with Akis. I'll quickly tell you, he's running 3 businesses and all of them are closed, so he's had a bit of a tough time. But you'll be very pleased to know that when the season, whenever, it does open up for normal and you are lucky enough to dine at his fabulous Confessors Taverna here in St. George South, you'll be pleased to know that he's been spent 3 months building an organic garden, growing potatoes and peppers and beans, so that when you have his delicious food, you will...
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can't believe he's shown us the video of his potatoes. I mean, don't get me wrong now, guys.
Weren't they big? They were certainly big. Great for baseball. And I'd say a special thank you to Suzanne and Jane for helping us do the broadcast. And Patricia, you really are wonderful. You may not think, but you are. We all think so from StudioKerkyra.
Yes,
that's
we
official.
Definitely. And here Stuart Merrin is writing and he's saying, hi guys from a nice and sunny Middlesbrough, northeast England, 22 degrees.
Just a little bit below us, but hey, great. Middlesbrough, lovely. Lovely to have you on board. Welcome to the show.
Yes, and Helen Mullins. Hi guys. Hello Helen. Thanks for tuning in. Patrick Golden. Hello from Stoke. Hi Patrick Golden. Thanks for tuning in. That's great. Yes. Stoke. Beautiful Stoke.
Can I just say a warm hello to Helen Mullins? I read through your profile. Hope you don't mind yesterday. And you made a really wonderful, good, special point, which I'm going to share with everybody. You said it's great and wonderful that every week on a Thursday, the people of the United Kingdom and around the globe have been clapping for frontline medical workers and key workers, but you make the point, the one sector of the population that everybody's forgotten about to clap and reward with gratitude are the children, because, of course, the children have been locked up, as Helen says, for 2 to 3 months now, and that's a lot of effort from them to be able to do that, obviously for the parents and guardians as well. But, you know, they've been missing out on their precious childhood, haven't they? And I think they've all behaved very well, doing all those rainbows, putting in windows to help the frontline service workers. And, you know, yes, let's take our hats off to all the children, wherever they are around the world, to have to suffer lockdown.
Yeah, and let me say hello quickly to Simon Perry, currently 26 degrees here in Manchester.
Ooh,
then Richard Zebedee, did I say that right?
Yes, Zebedee.
Zebedee, yes, great. I'm saying names right. I'm so excited, man. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Adrian. How are you today? As you can hear, we are brilliant. I mean, how can we not be?
Exactly. The sun is drawing it out of us, and we hope to bring those rays in your direction, because it really is quite spectacular. Actually, Thomas, I have to say, today's the first day that I've sat less than 5 meters from the seashore. And here we are broadcasting in such a beautiful view, isn't it?
Oh,
it's the first time I've been this close to the sea, quite frankly.
I know,
we're only 5 meters here, and it's great.
Yeah, and I parked perfectly again, didn't I?
Well, of course, you're very good at parking.
I mean, and the views. I couldn't resist. You know, yesterday we said, okay, where should we go? There are so many beautiful places, and
too many to choose.
Yeah,
really?
And you know, we said let's start slowly, because it also depends on the internet connection we carry with us, and because there is no tourist season, the signal strength is not as high as usual, and that gives us a little bit of a problem. But we are perseverance. We get there. We're gonna bring you that every day now. So Stuart Murren is saying quickly, Thomas, the book is called The Eye of the Darkness. If you want to look it up, in the book it was called Wuhan 200.
Really?
Ooh, so you're making notes already. I can see that.
What's it called again?
That's Wuhan 200.
Yeah, but
the book is called The Eyes of Darkness.
Eyes of Darkness. That's a good name, isn't it? Yeah, I'll look into that. Thank you very much indeed for sharing that little nugget with us.
Yeah, and you can see we're here in St.George South, in the beautiful St.George South. And what you see in the far distance there, that's ISIS sand dunes, and they are beautiful. They are great. Jerry O.D., Malibu Taverna, great view. Had a coffee there last year. Yes, you're so right. The Malibu is just around the corner. It's fantastic little taverna. Oh, Richard Zedeby is saying it's 26 in Bournemouth. It's the summer coming everywhere. That's
Looks
great,
like
man.
It, doesn't it? Yes, absolutely. We're in front of Balcony Restaurant as well. Many people of you know Balcony from Facebook postings of last year. So we're kind of right in the centre of it here in the beautiful St. George South, with the fantastic weather to go. The only thing that's missing, of course, are the jolly happy holiday makers. I'm afraid there aren't too many of those around today, and actually on the journey down on the main road, going towards Lefkimi, there was hardly anyone we passed by. Really strange sight, wasn't it, Thomas?
Oh, yeah, it was a strange sight there. I'm just trying to get the cameras a little bit sorted, because it is the clouds coming in and going out, so you can see this a little bit darker and then a little bit lighter, and that's good. No, it's great. Thanks for writing in, guys. Margaret Johnson is saying being sitting in the garden imaging as was on Babati Beach. Giannis Koulouris, hi from Cozy. So that's the guy who just were here. Hi, Giannis, you can see us. He probably can see us waving.
We'll give him a wave. He was a jolly nice chap, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he's waving. Great. I love that. That's a nice coffee shit. Is it good? Is it good coffee?
It's a very nice frappe. Oh, Richard Zebedee's favourite drink, I do believe, frappe. Yes, it's all good here. We're very lucky, aren't we, Thomas? To be honest with
we are. Christopher Dabana is saying, did they nominated him for the fridge where he was hiding? Okay, I have no idea what you're talking, mate.
No, sorry, we don't know about that one.
But so many things going on now regarding traveling. What updates do we have now? The updates, what we got is, I have a viewer who said their tickets is still okay for Monday, 25th of May to arrive here, and somehow the news come out now that between the UK and Greece, when they go on holiday, you don't have to go into quarantine when you come back to the UK for 2 weeks.
Well, that would be good if that's the case. All I know is we keep getting the answers to these questions will be soon. I haven't heard any more than that, but 25th of May, that's interesting.
Yeah, 25th of May.
Okay. Well, good luck. Fingers crossed. We're touch wood for you, of course.
Yeah, and if this is true, that would be brilliant.
Absolutely,
No,
Thomas.
but
Yeah.
everybody's gearing up for the 1st of July, and we saw it here. I mean, it was a little bit
that way,
heartbreaking just driving through St.
Yeah.
George South today, and you see everything closed where we expected everything to be open, or we used to everything to be open. And now, it's quite a shocker when you come in, but at the same time, there's hope out there because it sounds like all the European countries are
they're slowly coming together.
Yeah, they're fixing that
out,
now. They're sorting that problem out with how can we travel. And I think Europe-wide, this travel ban gonna be gone by July. I got that feeling.
It seems that way. Let's say that. Fingers crossed, touch wood, and all the rest of it. I'm not going to stick my neck out and say definitely. I don't think we're in a position to do that. But yes, things are looking a little bit brighter and a bit more perky than they were, shall we say, a month ago.
Oh, definitely a little bit better and more perky than it looked a month ago. And that's the beauty. Oh, that's beautiful. Jay, that's beautiful. Hold it there. That's great. I love that picture. See,
now you
Jay
can
on the camera, he's just zoomed in. Now you can see that's the beach of St. George South, and opposite you can see Isos Beach, and the sand dunes are just going and going and going. And I hope that's going to be full with tourists this summer because that place is spectacular.
It certainly is, and you can see why we like it here. Do you remember we had some fantastic sunsets during night shift last year when we were broadcasting? We did a few broadcasts from St. George's South. It's one of our favourites.
Yes, and here I get a big hello from Spiros Achim. He says, hi from Berlin.
Oh,
hi, Spiros. Great, nice to see you. That's brilliant, yes.
Absolutely. We love to hear anyone from Berlin. And guten Abend to all our German-speaking friends, wherever you are. Of course, the Germans are great holiday makers. They love this island of Corfu, spelt with a K, I notice. Actually, there was a big hotel here, German run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That swallowed up the other lovely San Carlos pizza parlor that we
missed, and we're feeling so sorry for that here because San Carlos was superb here, direct on the sea. It was a great location, but sadly there is an all-inclusive just opposite, and they grabbed this facility now, and sadly San Carlos had to go. What personally it hurt me because there you see it's all.
It did me too, Thomas, because it also upset two of our lovely followers and friends, Harry and George AV, who run the Linear Cafe. Best wishes to both of those fine gentlemen. I hope they're all right.
Yeah, and here we get Tom Giddings. Hello from sunny Appledore.
Tom, you are in the place that has. I've got. You know what I'm going to say. Tom Appledore, what a fantastic place. Sorry to hear about the closing down of the shipyard there because that was a special unit. Beautiful place by the sea. I've stayed there many a time. But you know what? In Appledore is what I consider, now I know Phil Ferris and a lot of you are going to disagree with me strongly, but I consider the best fish and chip shop in the whole of the United Kingdom. Oh, that's a big statement to make, isn't it? But it's in Appledore and it's called Sylvester's. I hope it's still open. If it is, do let me know, Tom, because the fish there is simply out of this world. Well, actually, it's out of the ocean. It's actually out of the ocean. But the fishermen who catch the fish hang around and watch the people buy it. And the man himself, Sylvester, he knows how to cook fish because it's all about the heat and the cleanliness of the oil to give it that extra special, fresh taste. So, Tom, hope you're enjoying your mythos today.
Yeah.
He likes his
talking to me. No, you're not talking to me.
No, I was talking to Tom Giddings, who was in Appledore.
In Appledore, great. And lots of hello. Margaret Johnson is watching. Boris has not been seen for days now. Yes, we know. We try to find him. But here, Jenny Helvet is saying, I hope so. I'm due to fly on the 4th of July. So she's hoping everything goes well.
That could be.
At the moment, all the signals are on green, on go. And that's what we can report here. All the tourist operations here start getting ready now slowly, and it's beautiful. It's great. It's we watched the fishermen's earlier, and when I listened to their chat, they pointed over to the other side, and there you can see they all started renovating their tavernas, and that's a great sign. Also by the apartments here, it gives you really hope. But I think we just escaped that one. Hopefully,
let's hope so. Hey. Because it's not quite the same without all the jolly holiday makers, is it really? And I'm sure you sitting at home listening to this are probably thinking exactly the same. Why aren't we there? That's what you're probably thinking.
Yeah, so this is why we're here. And at the moment why you can't come, we're gonna bring you the best this island has to offer. We're going on the road through paradise. That's how it is. That's how I see it. I know it's how you see it and everybody else. But let me carry on. There was now a questionnaire to people. That's one of the things I wanted to talk now because I think it fits. And what was said is that only they were asked, how do you, when this COVID is over, do you want the life to be like it was before, or do you think it's time for a change? And only 9% of people asked said, I would like to have the same life I had before COVID.
Really?
91 said no. Now it's the opportunity to make change. Now it's the opportunity to improve and make a whole thing a new world out of it. That's our chance, and we should grab that. And it makes me happy. 91% are saying that.
That's great. Well, I have to say, Thomas, I'm sure you are too. I'm with the 91% because we need a better world, don't we? Especially after the ravages of the coronavirus pandemic. We've seen the benefits of the environment already. I hope the pollution levels don't rise again. But I think it is the time to look at everything like office working, for instance, working from home. There's so many things. And of course, top of the list must be the environment. Maybe there's a push for more clean energy now as well. All sorts of things. And litter. Let's try and do something with the plastic, hey? I think mankind can, if he can get to the moon, I'm sure he can find an alternative to plastic for good, safe means of carrying liquids around, for instance.
Yeah, no, but we would be interested what you guys think. It's really now time to make a change. Is this a time for a new world? Can we take this opportunity and convert that and say, okay, let's make some changes, but changes to the positive, changes more to the happiness. Let's sort these things out. Okay, we still have to think economically, but if we now start streamlining, if we now look after Mother Nature at the same time, but get things going and related out, this could be a start, a new beginning for so many. And don't get me wrong, but I think there's really a lot of people out there who would appreciate to have a new start in life, make a change, adjust to that, and start with a new normal.
Absolutely. Something's got to change. It can't go back to exactly what it was before. Another thing that pops into my mind is there's this increased emphasis on cycling and walking. Let's hope that can maintain itself and grow even further. There's loads of things that could happen. So let's now is a perfect opportunity to bring forward these new changes. We need a new life to cope, I think, with unlocked SK. I nearly said the wrong word. I'll be really worried about that for a few weeks, days, I can tell you. Unlocked, we're in this. Well, not everybody is, I have to say. There are a lot of countries still experiencing some form of lockdown or other. But here on the island of Corfu, which is absolutely paradise, as you already know, things are much better. That we have some degree of movement back at last. At least we can get from A to B and
A
C.
to B and C. Exactly, that's it. I mean, let me catch up with a couple of things here. Why we said about Isos Beach. Melita is writing in, I used to camp in the dunes at St. George in the 1970s. Only one the Werner there then. So, wow, only one when you look now how many there are.
You've seen some changes. But how nice to be camping amongst the sand dunes. That's great.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. That I see this every year for people doing just when they go. There's the famous walk from the south to the north.
Of the Corfu Trail.
Of the Corfu Trail, exactly. And they stop off in different places here. And it's great. It's fantastic. That's how you can explore the island full. So that's good. Paul Pollack is saying, my wife Sandra has joined us for the first time and say hello. So hello Sandra, nice for you to join us and watch us. And hopefully we can see you all here on this beautiful holiday island of Corfu very, very soon.
Absolutely. Talking about surveys, Thomas, there was another one done by a UK research group which looked at 1,660 volunteers. I don't quite know how they got this information, but they discovered that by washing your hands a minimum of 6 times a day, that's with soap and water, you were less likely to go down with COVID-19. I don't quite know why they say that, but apparently if you were to go a bit extra and do 10 washes of hands per day, it doesn't make any difference. So I think the main thing is, as you already know this, to stay safe, it really does help to keep washing your hands in soap and water as much as you can, and of course maintaining social distance at all times.
Yeah, of course. And for our question we thrown out, what should be the new normal? What do you want now? Because now there's the opportunity. The survey said only 9% want to go back to the life what we had before COVID-19. 91% said, no, let's take this opportunity and change that. Melita is saying, as long as the new world does not include social distancing, we're going to be all right. So,
well, that's a good point, Melita, because we would agree 100% with that, but evidence might suggest otherwise. For instance, Cambridge University is banking on the fact that social distancing is going to be around for a year to a year and a half or maybe more. They announced today that in the academic year 2020 to 2021, there was going to be no general lectures, no face-to-face tuition. It was all going to be done online. That already exams are being online at the moment. The other thing I should say there is Manchester University. This will please Steve and Sue in Manchester and all our other viewers there. Manchester University announced this a few days ago. The first university to announce that next year's lessons, as it were, lectures, I should say, are going to be online only. Yep. There may be a few small groups providing conditions are conducive and social distancing would be maintained. But I agree with Melita. Yes, it's not the same without a handshake or a hug and being so far apart from your loved ones. I don't know.
Yeah, another one in here is Anita Ranson-Edwards is saying, bring back the milkman and the Corona van, which went rounds years ago.
I remember them. I'm showing my age now, but yes, do you know the milk vans? They used to sell everything, didn't they? Eggs and juice, and of course Corona. In the UK, Corona was a top-selling brand of soft drink. This is going back to the 60s and 70s, and it was actually they did a very good cherryade, I seem to remember. And I don't even like cherries. Well, that's the funny thing. I don't like cherries or the taste, but by goodness, Corona cherryade was excellent. Do you remember Tizer?
Tizer?
Yeah, no, possibly not. You're in Austria, on those mountains in Austria. But yes, we used to have a drink called Tizer. That was rather good too.
So you can see Adrian here sitting, and here
well,
I am.
I'll get right. Yes, I was looking at you.
And I just go, I know, you got the fantastic view, aren't you?
I'm spoiled for choice here. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And just if you want to see how it looks here, that's how it looks in our van. That's how we doing our road trip this year through Paradise, and we really try to bring you as much of beautiful scenery, locations and reports as we can. So this is our first week in Unlocked, and we're making a lot of contacts, and we can feel how slowly this island is waking up.
It is cigar, they say here, slowly to everyone else. Yes, it is. There are definitely signs of life, as Thomas was saying. Tavernas are having a fresh coat of paint, and there's lots of activity. Although I would point out that, to my knowledge or memory, there isn't quite so much as there was, say, a year ago, a month ago. So we're a little bit behind with that. But can you imagine anything else? No, because they've all been up in the air with these flights and quarantines and all sorts. It's still not clear, is it really?
Yeah, and let us know. We wrote a question out. What if you had a chance now to start something new? Like 91% in the people of the survey said, "Hey, we have the opportunity now to make changes to the better." What would be your change? What would you change, or what would you suggest to say?
Question.
Come on, yeah, that's an opportunity for me. I was dreaming. Let me say, you always wanted to start your own business. Or you wanted to start a craft, or you want to relearn your trade. You never know. Is that the opportunity to do it? I mean,
absolutely.
Let us know. I mean, here I got Christopher Tabana is writing, I would like a world without Polarists, leaders like Trump, Johnson, and Erdogan. Oh yeah, that would be brilliant. No leaders at all.
Well, yes, but I take Chris's point, actually. Some of these people, I mean, obviously they got their own reasons, and we always give people a right of reply. I'd love to hear a representative from President Bolsonaro in Brazil, for instance, or indeed Donald Trump. We're always sending out invitations, as it were. I dare say they have their own agenda or their own reasons for saying those things. Frankly, though, I don't really go along with a lot of them. I can't believe that President Bolsonaro has been so cavalier with his attitude with shaking hands and non-wearing of masks, for instance, and also refusal to accept that this was a serious pandemic and not just a little flu, which is how he described it a few weeks back. Actually, the sad fact is Brazil is rapidly moving up the unpleasant rankings of being ravaged, where the figures are absolutely horrific. I have got them here somewhere. if I can
You've got
find
the
them.
figures, have I? Yeah, let's
I
have the figures.
Yes, I will when I can find them. Brazil has currently 272,000 cases with over 18,000 deaths, which is the highest in any southern hemisphere country, and it's
Wow.
rising by the day. Just to compare that to the United States of America, which has 1.539 million cases and over 92,200 deaths, to put that into some sort of context. They're awful cricket scores almost, aren't they? I don't know, and still people are believing that this is a false pandemic. It is a media conspiracy. I don't quite know how they get those beliefs or maintain those beliefs with the welter of evidence that's circulating around from frontline people who have had to not only experience COVID-19 themselves, former patients, but also all the nurses and doctors and all the other staff that's had to deal with this pandemic. I mean, how they can just dismiss it as a media conspiracy, I simply don't know, Thomas.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's it's strange for me. It's this all strange when I read, and I read a lot through the news, because we have to verify everything we say here, and we try to. So if we make a mistake, please let us know. Don't hold back. Send us a comment right now, and we gonna correct it. Or if you think you know something we should know, don't hesitate. Yeah, seriously, you never
I laugh
know.
because I know our viewers are very intelligent and clever,
yeah,
and they're bound to know more than we do.
It's great because I get a lot of messages. So don't be afraid. Message now live here while we're on air, or send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. Here I got a good one in, because we got the fishing boats shown, and now we got a close-up of this fantastic beach, and there you can see social distancing is working. Okay, but beach like that, the size is not a problem. But you see the bathers already out there. But Jerry O'D is saying, if you touch the boat, it means good luck to the fishermen. Yeah, ask first; they will be happy.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I did not know that.
No, I didn't either. Thank you very much for sharing that little nugget with us. We like these little nuggets, don't we?
Yeah, and Dawn Dodson is writing in and saying,
Dawn.
"Hi Dawn, thanks for watching. It would love a world without greed, where we share fairly and have clean oceans."
Very true. Absolutely.
Man,
that's a fundamental point to clean oceans. If we're not careful, we're going to lose that fabulous Great Barrier Reef off the coast of eastern Australia, aren't we? That's very precious to the world's marine life.
Marine life, and this would be all. But it's not unachievable. Everything, you can dream it, you can do it. That's one of my mottos. If you can imagine it, you can do it. And you just have to try, and some things are easy and some things are hard. But like KFC said, things are easy, they're not worth doing. We rather do the things what are hard to do. And and I think that built a lot of countries this way of thinking, not just the States. But here as example, it looked so doomed just a month ago when we spoke with some Greeks.
Yes,
it was really bad. It was heartbreaking just talking to them.
It was, and they were gutted, all of them, weren't they? And all of them extremely worried, actually, as are all people that are running businesses, no matter not just the hospitality industry, right across the board. I mean, today I've heard that they're going to make 9,000 people redundant Rolls-Royce engines, for instance. I mean, every day you hear awful news stories about that, and the rates of unemployment are rapidly rising across the globe, which reminds me, Thomas, I mean, isn't it funny to think that just a few months before this wretched pandemic struck, so let's go back to the end of last year, 2019, many countries were boasting of their extraordinary high employment rates. Some countries had never had so much employment, and then just a matter of weeks later, the whole thing is reversed, and these unemployment rates are just shooting up. It's terrifying, really, isn't it?
It's but we expected that, and it's getting more and more. What is in the UK, 2.6 million or something?
That's right. Yes,
at the moment,
right.
and that's bad.
Yeah,
but
and America is even worse. Well over 30, I think. Yes, it's terrifying, actually.
Yeah, man, in Greece, they had that problem for the last 10 years. When you look at the youth unemployment in Greece, it's going to be about 40%.
It was 44,
but it was before the
yes,
virus.
Yes,
so how is it now? So
well, it was getting better before COVID-19 pandemic struck. I mean, they were really hoping that if they would have even a normal holiday season this year, they might actually start to move ahead and come out of it positively, economically speaking. But of course, that doesn't look like happening with this pandemic, the lockdowns and all the travel restrictions and everything else. It's very hard to resuscitate struggling businesses with all this going on. But we know the Greeks, we know their fortitude and their resolve and their strength of spirit, I'm sure, will overcome all these dreadful problems. And they will rise victorious like the gods before them. That's what I think.
Yes, I think so too. I mean, as well, I just have the
Oh, that's a
fishing
good
boats
shot.
on there.
Yeah,
It's
lovely.
great, it's beautiful. And we saw guys, the fishers getting ready, the fishermen, just an hour ago. And I thought, oh, maybe we
were,
get
yes.
them live here. They done their nets. So, they prepared everything. I think they're gonna go out soon, hopefully.
Looks
So
like
that
it.
would be great. Here, Melita is writing in and saying, I would like a world without rudeness. Oh,
That's a good one too. Do you know, Melita, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think there's far too much rudeness, and it makes me smile that all these politicians, I'm sticking with talking about United Kingdom, they all go to what's allegedly known as the top school, Eton. I'm wondering how they haven't maintained or learnt basic civility or basic manners. I certainly know manners were drummed into me, and as many people used to say, manners maketh man. That was the expression, and I think it should be again now. You're absolutely right. Speaking of which, going back to what we were saying about Cambridge University and Manchester University, would you believe that Eton School, the place that I've just mentioned, in, is it Hertfordshire, I think? Oh, I can't remember. Near Middlesex anyway, just outside of London, the home of many British Prime Ministers, this one included, they are not opening their doors. They are doing exclusively online education, which begs the question from me, Thomas, if Eton, such an important and prestigious public school of the United Kingdom, the number one, some would say, okay, Harrow might disagree, and Stowe and all the rest, but the point is, if they're closing their doors still and not having students back, why is it that there is this push to get secondary schools in the United Kingdom to open their doors?
I don't know. It's a little funny because I
It is a
looked
bit, isn't
today. Man, it's not just in the United Kingdom. It's also here in Greece, and especially on Corfu. There were the demonstrations on this morning from the teachers. They moved their desks and computers
Oh,
into
right.
the streets and their chairs. And so,
Did they?
yeah, it was quite funny when you
strange,
looked into
yes.
Corfu Town today.
Okay.
The teachers protested. They put desks, PCs, chairs there. They were sitting there, and but I couldn't make any sense what they are protesting about. I tried to get into more, but I got four different explanations. One, they opening up too early. The other said no, it's a little bit has to do with the money side of the payment. And then somebody said, and I read that, had to do with the CCTV. They planning to have security cameras within the classrooms now, and teachers are getting very angry because then Big Brother is watching even when you're at work. And if that's a good one or not, it depends. I mean, guys, what do you think out there? All our viewers out there, all our followers and friends, what do you think? Should there be CCTV installed in the classrooms so they can watch constantly what the kids doing and what, more importantly, the teacher is doing?
Yes, that's a bit unnerving, I'm sure, for the teachers. It's a very controversial move, that's for sure. I have heard such notions planned for the United Kingdom a few months back, actually. There is a call there, but I don't think the unions in the UK were too keen. And then you've got to ask yourself, what about the privacy of the children as well, you know? Would they want a permanent record of all their days at school in primary years? I'm not so sure about that either.
I don't know. I don't know where it came from. All of a sudden, it's here, and the teachers are thinking now we're getting infringed in our work ethics. What do they want to do with us now? Why do they checking us? Then, when it's done for school, is it for the safety for the kids? I mean, come on, if they say, okay, it's safety for the kids, so there's not no misuse, don't you check your teachers before you hire them?
Well, of course.
Of course they're doing. So what explanation do they really have which would stand up in justifying an action like that?
I can't personally think of one, but let's leave it to the audience. You decide. Let us know what your thoughts, and if there are any teachers amongst you, which we know there are. There's that lovely lady in Stoke-on-Trent, for instance. What do you think, actually? Is this a good move? And as Thomas has just said, what would be the reason for doing so? Because surely you expect the children in school to be in a safe environment, so there's no need for security for safety in terms of CCTV. And maybe you're perennially checking the teacher's performance on CCTV. But is that such a good thing to do? I'm not so sure about that.
I have no idea.
I think it's the privacy of the children that you've got to consider there as well. And where are these pictures going to? Who's being shared, as it were? Maybe it's an internal thing for schools. I don't know.
Yeah, so I have no idea, but we would like to know what you think. Should there be CCTV now installed in the classrooms here in Greece? I mean, guys who live here, maybe Greeks could comment. I would love to know what the Corfuites are thinking about this measure. Maybe we
Yes,
can
absolutely.
even get a teacher who says, okay, what, guys, I talk with you about that. Gonna be, interesting.
Yes, we'd love to hear your views. One thing I can say, which is not on that subject, you'll be pleased to know I've just seen a beach buggy driving around on Isis Beach in front of us. So that's
Have you
always a
ever
good
seen
sign.
that?
Yes, I've just seen that. Yes, yes. That reminds me of that fabulous James Bond film that they shot here, in fact, all over the island. For your eyes only. There's a good feature in there of Isis Beach.
Oh, yeah, for eyes
Yeah,
only. That's
yeah.
exactly what shot on this
Exactly.
beautiful beach, wasn't it?
It was indeed, as well as other places on this island, including what was mentioned by one of our viewers the other day, the 007 Cafe, which is somewhere in the north west of the island. We haven't yet been there, but it's on our list to do. It's on our bucket list.
Biggie, it's called there.
It's called where,
Or
sorry?
Buggy or Biggie, it's called the village. But
Okay,
we're gonna
fair
get that definitely thing. Steve Bauersek, the Greek Prime Minister, is on now. Yes, we know that.
Oh,
And
okay,
we're gonna
thanks, Steve.
see after the program what he is doing, what he is saying. Steve here also says the tourism season in Greece begins on June 15 with the opening of the seasonal hotels. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis just announced now Wednesday
right,
afternoon.
okay.
There will be no COVID-19 test before arrival in the country and no 14-day quarantine.
Ooh, that's news indeed, isn't it?
This will be random test sampling when in the country, the Prime Minister added. Seasonal hotels will be open on the 15th of June. So there you got it. That's the news now for the latest. Thank you, Steve, for letting us know.
Yes,
and that's great. That's you know what, 15th of June, we know they want to start the seasonal hotels. And this is a great news. This goes together with all the flights, what Ryanair said, isn't it?
Slowly coming together, increasing the seeds of hope. Let's say that. It's definitely a positive move and not a negative move. So that's absolutely great to hear. Thank you very much, Steve, for sharing that with us.
Yes, that's great. And here is international flights to the country will gradually resume from the 1st of July. Also to the tourist destinations. So I want to know now, we had this one email we got in where they said 25th of May, their flights from Heathrow to Athens are still all right. And I think that's going to be true, that they still okay. If they can travel then from Athens to here, that's another question before the 1st of June.
Well, yes, according to that statement from a GN Airways that read out a day or two ago, they were going to commence flights to the Greek islands from next week. This week they'd started with Crete. But next week it was going to be all the Ionian Islands and all the other Greek islands as well. And after that, they were going to be laying on international flights to Frankfurt and Munich, I think it was, and some other places which I can't immediately remember, but there were only Geneva and Zurich. That's right. Geneva, Zurich, Munich and Frankfurt were going to start the week after next week, and it's next week that they're going to be starting flights to the Greek islands. So probably by the end of this month and into June, they will be running almost a full international service.
Ooh, that's Aegean, yeah?
Yeah, that's what they said in that report that we read out yesterday or the day before. So that kind of fits with what you're saying and hearing now.
Yeah, so Lavinia is saying, I wonder what CEOP, the Children's Protection Branch of Scotland Yard, think of monitoring classrooms.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good one. Thank you, Melita.
We did think of that, but we didn't like to say it's a very difficult subject to dwell on. But you're absolutely right. What on earth could the purpose be for doing this? I really can't imagine. There's enough CCTV around everywhere. Do they really need to have that extended into classrooms? But the key question is that we should be asking, Thomas, is who's getting to see this video feed? For what purpose?
I don't know. That's what I do not understand. It's a little bit, but we're gonna look in further to that. I want to know more, and maybe we can get hold of one of the teachers to talk with them and find out what's really the whole thing is about. So I'm getting much more. Enrique Cowling is saying, can't believe how much you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Keep up the great work. Thank you for that one. I'm getting that quite often now, I know. And I try, not to
To
let
be.
me the Austrian out, but you can't demon this.
Well, it's your mother tongue. That's very difficult to do, and no one here expects you to do that, Thomas. And as the viewer there has just said, it's an endearing quality to hear a mini Arnie coming from your good mouth.
Okay, I'm hope it is outdated news as I think things seem to be a bit fluid currently. Philip Ferris is saying, and he sent the link from the Greek reporter. I'm gonna have a look at this link of
Thanks,
the
Phil.
Greek reporter after the show. Sorry, I can't do that now. It is I'm making sure the signal is staying here and we don't have any cutouts. And so far, so good. That's great. But for everybody who just joined us now, thanks for joining. Hello from beautiful Corfu. Today we are in St. George South, in the fishing harbor of St. George South. And as you can see, it's not a lot going on.
No, but it's always beautiful to see an array of fishing boats. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Thank you.
Definitely. Sorry. It's the whole thing here. It's great. We've just been taken. We arrived here just after 3:30, start to setting up. And we were lucky. We could see fishermen opposite. Now, the picture you're seeing, just preparing and fixing their nets, and we thought, oh, maybe when we live on show that the fishing boat is going out, but we could be lucky. You never know.
Indeed.
So
unfortunately we didn't get to touch the wood and wish them good luck, so hopefully they will have some good catches. Not down to our not wishing them good luck. We'd have to have very long hands from where we are to do that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Julie Cam is saying, my hopes are building up about coming to Corfu this summer. Hope I can actually leave the UK. So
do we, Julie. We can't wait to meet you in person, actually. And also, your good husband from Liverpool, I believe you told us. So it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great here. And here we see. So that's the sand dunes. That's a shot, isn't it?
Great,
and wow, I can see why Broccoli chose to film one of the scenes here.
Oh, absolutely. Albert Broccoli, what a producer. Oh, he's one at the top of his game, wasn't it? In the early days, it was in collaboration with Harry Saltzman, but they had a little bit of a falling out, I think, and then he went it alone. And I personally think, as you know, because any viewer to StudioKerkyra knows by now that the James Bond series of films are my absolute favourite. Beautifully played, by the way, by recently Daniel Craig, who is due to make his last outing, but unfortunately the premiere of that film was put back because of COVID-19. It should have been in cinemas in April, but it's been put back to the autumn. For the moment, we don't actually know when it's going to be coming out, but let's hope it comes out pretty time soon.
Yeah, and another very good news coming out from the United Kingdom, and this is regarding the BBC. Do you know what it is?
I've heard that BBC 3 is going to be gets moved around a lot, is coming offline and going back onto your normal TV and satellite screens. And I've also heard a rumour that BBC 4 is going to be saved. Is that the one you're referring to, Thomas?
Yeah, it's great to BBC 4 if it's saved, definitely, but that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
No? You know what? Great, and I hope a couple of viewers go, so yeah, I'm gonna say yes, great is, but they resuming to film EastEnders. How great is that? Your face now, man. But really, they start resuming the filming of EastEnders.
Well, that's great for the people that enjoy that and for all the actors and crew that are involved. Of course, it's the BBC's flagship soap opera.
It's the oldest in the UK, isn't it?
No, Coronation Street.
It's Coronation Street.
Yes, absolutely. That goes way back to black and white days and Ina Sharples and all
what
that.
is the longest running one, then?
In the world, it's a Japanese thing, actually. The longest running soap opera is a Japanese cartoon. Can't remember the name of it. That's had a break because of the coronavirus pandemic. But the EastEnders is the longest running BBC. Continuous soap opera. Yes, absolutely. Entertains millions of viewers on it did do on a daily basis. Filmed at Elstree. I know they spent a lot of money on rebuilding the studio and the set. Whoa. Yes, absolutely. So they're obviously very anxious to get that back again on the screen. So yes, of course, that's good news for everybody involved and waiting to watch it, of course, again.
But it's not your cup of tea, as I guess, looking at your expression.
The BBC
it's okay,
turns out such fantastic amount of quality drama and broadcasting of all sorts, every subject under the sun. The BBC have at some time or other covered, I should think. I'm a great proponent and supporter of the BBC, absolutely. Yes, I agree. I know that one of our viewers, Teresa Taberner, takes exception to the licence payment and all that as a tax. You're right, Teresa. We've had this conversation before, haven't we? for sure, the BBC needs to be funded perhaps in a different way. Maybe now, as we were answering that question about what would you do as new after coronavirus pandemic, well, maybe the BBC needs to be funded in a different way and definitely needs to be made secure. Security for the people that work there and also security for the audience. I personally think they need to look at BBC Worldwide, or what they keep changing the name of it. I can't actually remember what it's called currently. At the moment it's been BBC Enterprises and all sorts of things, because they're sitting on the most amazing, fantastic library, and I really think they could and should do much more with that. It was always very sad.
Huge library, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was always very sad to me that back in the early days, not even that early, back in the 60s and 70s, they had to wipe so many tapes to make room for new shows because they couldn't afford spare tapes to put all these wonderful things on. And that's so sad, isn't it?
It is
lost forever, you see.
Lost, and that's sad, and that shouldn't happen, especially for an institution like that, because it is funded from license payments.
Absolutely.
And that should be calculated in so you can have an archive. But you know what is the biggest distribution in the world anyway? BBC, isn't it?
Well, I'm saying that they need to do that better. There's been so many problems
but they still
along the way.
Library they have.
Oh, absolutely. It's the best. I said that. The best library there is, or one of them. I mean, a lot of media organisations have got fantastic libraries, but the BBC have been going continually since the 1930s. I mean, really quite extraordinary.
Yeah, no, I know. And here we get some stuff in from guys. Guys, thank you so much for writing in comment. If you want to comment live, do it now here on the live show, or send us later an email or a message on Facebook, and we're going to get this in to the next show. But Margaret Johnston is saying, love Corrie and EastEnders, sometimes Emmerdale. So it's great programs. You see, I'm Austrian. I watch them all, mate.
Really?
And
Really?
Yeah, I love the English culture, and this English television is quite good, actually. So come on, man.
UK television is fantastic, Thomas. Absolutely, yes.
It's great. So Richard is saying, like Emmerdale, my favorite. So that's great. Patricia Webster said, also, Coronation Street has been officially recognized as the world's longest running soap by Guinness World Records.
It certainly is. It's absolutely amazing. That's been broadcasting, I think, throughout my entire life. I never saw it in the early days, but did catch it now and again through the odd period, and it's had so many fantastic actors and actresses that have passed through the street, as they say. I did go and visit back in the early 80s, I think it was, the original outdoor set of Granada TV Studios, Coronation Street, and it was quite extraordinary to see. Behind the famous doors of, for instance, The Rover's Return, there's absolutely nothing, just a few props holding the thing up. Quite a surreal experience. But I do know that in the last few years they moved it and built another one in a similar area.
Yeah, and here I got Patricia Webster saying, the first daytime TV soap opera in the United States was These Are My Children, and it started in 1949.
Blimey, thanks for Patricia for that one. I didn't know. I do remember a long-running soap from the States called Peyton Place. Do you remember that one? Maybe you do, Patricia. That was a long-running one, but I probably can't match 1949. No, probably the 60s, I think, from that one.
From that one,
yeah.
So, guys, I hope you enjoy these beautiful views here from St. George South and from Isos St. Tunes. It's a fantastic place, and I hope it's soon very full with holidaymakers and tourists, because that's really what's missing. It was a little bit of heartbreaking when you see that.
It is, isn't it? Yes, very sad. But it's still beautiful as ever.
Okay, let's go in. What else have we got? What else do you want to talk about this show? But we're running out of time again, and I think you had something.
I had one good little news story, a little nugget, yes, which is about Greece. You'll be pleased to know. Greek waters. Something really good's happened since 2015, and that is the population of, would you believe, something that's very endangered species, seahorses. Beautiful creatures. There's been this big campaign. The problem that seahorses have had here, swimming around in beautiful, clear, crystal clear Greek waters, has been fishing nets. They've had an awful lot of problem with that. You'll be pleased to know that Greek divers removed 2 metric tons of fishing nets using airbags. The trouble was that the seahorses were being ensnared by these nets. They've already suffering from threats of pollution and habitat loss. Discarded fishing gear is a major source of ocean plastic pollution. And the nets, you'll be pleased to know, this is great for recycling purposes, are being turned into rope. Last year, this is a nasty one, Thomas, last year, 800,000 metric tons were left of this wretched plastic and nylon in the seas. In 1 year. That's an estimate, of course.
That's
so
an
probably
estimate,
more than that. But the good news is, when they're recycling these nylon nets, they're being upcycled, would you believe, and turned into socks, sportswear, and carpet, strangely enough.
Wow.
What a good use from discarded fishing nets. So fair play to the Greek divers who are putting seahorses at the top of their list of priorities.
Yeah, and that's nice to hear.
It is, isn't
See, and that's all. You see, that's the new normal. It's the new rule now. Maybe something is changing. And as we asked at the beginning of the show, guys, is this now a time for a change? Is this an opportunity now we can grab and say, okay, make some changes for the better, and certain problems we have, let's sort them out, or let's swap now from combustion engine over to electric or hydrogen.
We're very keen on the hydrogen notion, especially now they've got this storage problem sorted out. With that, you remember us telling a few weeks ago on Lockdown SK, we were sharing the news with you that they've managed to create this kind of sponge-like effect thing that can soak up all this hydrogen. So therefore, you can carry tremendous much more hydrogen gas in your tank than you could before, which kind of is a bit of a game changer, we feel. So watch the space regarding hydrogen fuel cells. Definitely electric vehicles are making a mark at last, but still there is a big problem with the infrastructure of charging. So maybe a little bit more has to be done on that one. But we probably can all agree that the end is in sight, much quicker than we may have thought, of fossil fuels.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be great. I don't have a problem. You know, we both petrol heads. We know that.
We are.
But there's the Formula E with the new thing out there, and that's fantastic to watch. And it's as exciting as the Formula One in my eyes.
They had a big crash,
behind.
didn't they? I saw some photographs of a spectacular crash. Everybody was okay, you'll be pleased to know. But yes, it's very exciting, a whole new way of Formula One. We still don't know for sure as what's happening with the Formula One season. We gave you some news the other day that it was Silverstone was going to be holding two, but the first were going to be in Austria.
In Austria,
we still
Red Bull Ring.
Yes, that's right. Still haven't had official confirmation. Just to remind the folks that if Silverstone can't get it, and the problem with Silverstone is the 14-day quarantine, because we said 7 out of the Formula One teams are actually based in the United Kingdom, out of the total 10 teams. And the people who run FIA administration, for instance, are very concerned that if you have an accident the other side of the world, you've got to go back to your base camp. And if you're imposed with 14-day quarantine, that just simply wouldn't make it possible to run the World Championship this year. So it's still work in progress. We still don't know. The good news is Hockenheim has stepped into the ring and has agreed to be a backup reserve if something goes wrong with Silverstone. But the plan was to have 2 races in June at Silverstone after 2 races in Austria first.
So, and that's gonna be interesting. But you know what? It is nearly time to go again. We've done an hour. But before we go, I got a couple of pictures I want to show. Let's get them in. That's a great one. That's from Melita.
Brilliant, isn't it? Not what you expect to see on a sunny beach and beautiful Paleokastritsa, that is.
That's Paleokastritsa. It is funny. It's great to see the sheep on the beach there grazing. I think it's really great.
Well, it is good, because if no one else can get the benefit of the sun and do a bit of sunbathing, why not the sheep? I bet they'll be happy and contented sheep.
Yeah, definitely. But what the location, the sheep, I want to know if the sheep know how lucky they are.
Possibly not. But, you know, I can tell you one thing. Sheep are a lot more intelligent than you might think they are.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Over to the next one. And look at that. Fantastic. Annabelle sent us this picture. And you can see here Corfu from space. If you look in the middle of the screen where the really light patches, you can see Corfu. And what an image, isn't it?
It's amazing image, and you can see all the Ionian Islands exactly laid out. The other thing is, Thomas, that we're used to seeing atlases and pictures of drawings of the outline of the country Greece.
Yeah,
well,
look at that.
That photograph absolutely proves that it is that shape. It's amazing.
It is Poseidon's fork down here, the Thessaloniki way. It's great. But when you look at Corfu and when you get an aerial picture,
so clear,
and when you look the island connecting to the mainland there, it looks like a heart. So, I'm not surprised if people say, Corfu is the center of the cosmos.
And they've been telling us that for years now, and we're beginning to believe it,
Definitely, man. Definitely. We're here in paradise. And let me go over to the last one. And this is the latest work of Banksy. What a fantastic
absolutely
work, isn't it? Celebrating our heroes.
Totally. Instead of Superman or Superwoman or anybody of those superheroes, you've got the heroes of the medical service personnel. Absolutely fantastic.
Exactly. There's our heroes. And that's what a fantastic work, man.
Yes, I think maybe many would disagree, but I have to say that keeping an eye on the art world generally slightly as I do, I think Banksy could be considered to be one of the leading artists of our time.
Definitely. I think you're right there. But hey, you know what? Here is another view of Isis Beach, and the people are here. So this could be you very, very soon, and we hope you very, very soon, to be honest.
We'll give you a good hearty wave. I'm waving to you now. I know you're not there really, but the spirit of you, because I know all you wonderful Corfuholics all around the world can't wait to get back to this magical island, because as we keep reminding everybody, once you've been here, just the once, it kind of touches you and stays with you for the rest of your life.
Exactly, that's how it is.
It does indeed. Oh, it's so lovely, isn't it?
It's so lovely. And when you see now, I'm just switching over. So it's just the sun is coming in through the door. The sun just broke through these couple of clouds we have here. But guys, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for writing in. Thank you so much for commenting and chatting with us here. You guys are making the show. It's great. So I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything we forgot to say today, we apologize. I'm gonna get this into tomorrow's show. But for today, the only thing to say for me is now, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Stay, like, and follow us. And we're gonna see you tomorrow again, 6 p.m. Greek time and 4 p.m. UK time.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you very much indeed for sharing your time with us. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are. And a very good afternoon to you all.
What a location, huh?